And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Field Glory Empires as Sparta in our run in the Rise of Persia DLC. In the last part, we inflicted a victory for us as Rome against Persia. It may be worth looking at our legacy income. Why would it's 57 from events? Okay, so that's when we're at peace with Persia, there's just a probability we get random bad events like this. So I think technically we paid half the legacy here. So they got 2 points for one legacy we lost. They gained 115, so we lost 57. That's one reason we're gonna have to keep pushing the Persians. But we've got an income of 112 now, because we took over some wonders, including the Tower of Babel. And we took over some territories that are also worth some legacy income. If we compare that to the Persian legacy income, we did reduce them to 106. Okay, so we've stopped them from necessarily running away with the game, mainly by simply getting our legacy high enough that we're now gaining at about the same rate. That does mean we need to continue to move against them to keep them from picking back up from where they left off. They still have more territory than us, so they still have quite a bit more potential to gain legacy than us. Though the Greeks are uniquely suited for getting legacy vertically due to the unique buildings that they have access to. Like this building, which provides one legacy, the Oden, which provides half of one legacy, and so on. There's a couple buildings that are like that. This one's not half. So you can get something like 2 extra legacy per territory fairly easily. That other nations can't. That are not Greek. We're at war with Rome, so that's probably what we're going to go deal with early on here. So I went through and did everything. So we basically be at the end of this turn, so we should just be able to hit play turn, end turn. The Roman campaign in the west is a little bit of an issue, but we should simply be able to arrive. Based on the strength of the Roman army, I suspect if our army shows up, we can send the Roman army running for it. I think the Romans were mostly willing to declare war on us because we were at war with Persia. So now that that's not a thing anymore, they're going to have a lot more of an issue hanging around in this war. Okay, metal, manpower, I give you money. We got decent money, so we'll accept that. I actually have a decent manpower reserve. I could send them packing for money. Oh no, that's 1,000 cost. Manpower is 1,000, so we'll pass on that. We did have a decision to turn iron into stuff, I believe. Not so precious iron. Sell the metal, 600 metal for 1,000 money. We're also going to do building development focus, specific priority on Emporium if any are available. One of the 15 possible Emporium structures will now be available for our nation. Idle regions that can build the Emporium will have a 50% chance to be reshuffled to that this turn. And those are the 2 decisions we're going to interact with. You're in on rest, which is kind of what we expected. We're going to march down here in case any of these places actually go into full revolt before the underpacification goes away. Some of these places may not even be stable even if we get down there in time. We got another build harbor. That's actually good to see. Build harbor. We're going to build up this harbor. If we can get the road network going here, we can get in and out pretty easily. And that'll be the port for getting in and out. So here, these armies will merge up. That is going to be our almost sort of ideal army. Okay, you're going to move there. We'll move the fleet there as well. It's going to take a couple turns to get westward. We're going to cycle one more turn, and then I think I'm going to build another army similar to this one up in Sparta itself. Because with the new territory, we have a pretty decent income at this point. Noble Gardens. 70 culture. Gonna cost us a bit of money. Or dye. We have purple. Produces dye. Produces 26 money plus 36 locally. So it's almost 60 currency. 5 culture gives us dye, which means we can ship dye around. Let's actually go with that then instead. And that's the one place we can build. We probably don't need that much assigned to construction there. Yeah, we'll put 140 onto other tasks. We'll put that onto money making. It's another 60 onto money making. Wait, that'll still probably be fine. We're still making. Still had a banked up amount, yeah. Olympic Games, 5 turns. That stuff. Sewers and the Arcus of Velion. Be 1 turn, the other sewer will take a little bit longer. This is the place where a lot of stuff isn't going to work because we're under siege. Under siege and under interaction with the enemy. Sure, if you can get a sewer down, get the sewer down. I'll free up the build slot. Not going to build. If we got the Arcus of Velion, wouldn't build it because we're potentially going to be engaged with the enemy. I don't actually want to do this. Do a shuffle. Not mean this will be a place like it's the Emporium choice, which is maybe not where we want it to be, but it wouldn't be the end of the world if it was. You could do with being stabler. It's being stabilized right now from the occupation, or from the army on top of it. Best we're going to get to like a 4 or 6 right now, so taking the 4 is not too bad. If we plop all of you... not quite enough. Getting enough money, I'm going to try to get everything going at 1 turn if we can. The Tavern is being a little resistant to that. Yeah, it looks like the Tavern's going to be a 2-turner, regardless of what I tried to do. Leave those on money. 3 open slots there. You would be cleared by the archery range, so we will grab the archery range. As tempting as to grab the line expansion, we'll grab the archery range because we do want that fearsome beast to go away, so we get the 33% more food. Everything there is finishing in a turn, so that's good. School's fine. We have no one in that province anymore, so we don't really need as much on food. So we have a lot more on to actual production and or stabilizing the place. Okay, we got 1 stable. Probably won't be able to get the other 1 stable. Okay, that'll feed everyone. That'll get building a little bit quicker. We'll get the tavern done, which will actually let's take some of these guys off. Help building other stuff. You could go with more loyalty. We do have access to some decent loyalty ones. Theater is not one of them. could go market here. Yeah. At some point, once the pacification's gone, I will probably tear the slave market out here. This is a little bit far away from the core, so it's not really a place where I want to be having the slaves delivered to yet. Stud, regional road. Those are fine. We can go ahead and just try to get the construction going faster. 41 on to you. Leave a little bit of surplus food because we do have the army coming through here. Similar thing here. We can move most of the guys off, but we'll leave a little bit on food production. Operation Tribune. Help stabilize. We are going to probably want to get Papyrus up here at some point, but we're going to work on stability first. There's tempting. Or just tempting as it brings in copper. Do we already have the bronze works? Yeah. We're going to go to the city walls just to make it a little bit harder of a target to take. And then you're building. You might actually be at the point where I can get you no influence coming there. You get some loyalty from welfare. I think that's 38. That 38's coming from the culture generation, actually, off of the Tower Bible here. It's something like half your culture you get as loyalty up to a cap. Ooh, faction wide. I hadn't counted for the faction wide, so that was a good take because it's just 15% faction wide. The other one I wanted to take was this one. I think the health bonus there is only a local health bonus, but and then that's a faction-wide health bonus. So those would have been nice to take, but that was a little bit too pricey to take in that war. Well, that's what we'll be here for next time. Next time we'll be going for that. Troops are going. I think we got through all the provinces. Yeah. Yeah, went through all the provinces. No idols. Then let's cycle the turn and have those decisions kicking. It's going to take me something like 3-4 turns to get back to Italy for their main army. I suspect because our main army was able to so easily handle the Persians, I don't think it's going to have any problems with the early Romans we have in this game. The Romans can get the Roman legionnaires via an event in the Rise of Persia DLC, but they get them really late. So they likely don't have them yet. And honestly, if they don't have them, I'm not worried about the Romans. They're not going to have the numbers really to be a big threat. Saba is asking for an alliance. Sure. I'm of the mutual opinion that the Persians are not great people. Okay, that's the siege that just went. Yeah, that makes sense. Displace some more slaves. We're not gonna go to emergency levy. Here's a buy one, but I don't want the loyalty penalty. We got lots of loyalty issues some places. Okay, so you can set sail and land in Sparta. We'll run the fleet to do the same trip. Should give you cover for that trip. And now that we're properly in the road network here, we can get properly down into our new territories. That army. We do have decent revenue, so I can go ahead and stand up a second batch of Spartan hoplites. Okay, let's stand up the support personnel first. So that is 4 flankers, 6 hoplites, like 8 hoplites. Call that good. And then we'll need some archers. Can I quickly grab 8 of you? Yeah. Okay, so it's going to take 2 turns across all of them, but that should be fine. New pop here. We can just go ahead and pick up the amphitheater. 0 slots, so it's not a bad choice. We're not that desperate for income, so let's go ahead and swap a bunch of guys over to getting this built quicker. Admiral Healthcare, plus 1 pop. That's in a size 21 city. Nice. That wasn't what I meant to do. There we go. Theater will be done in 2 turns. Olympic Games 4. This area is going to need a little bit of work. We got 60 health here. Suppose I can start tearing the hospital down. But if we only got 60 health, we're going to hold off on that. We're not in as much of a rush. A potter. I should build a potter so we can import the pottery to the places. This is a pretty centralized place, so it's actually pretty good for pottery to be there. We'll do the hospital upgrade, so we can go fishing for the unique, or the Greek one. Two open slots and 2 open slots, okay. Only Taurus is unstable, and we can't stabilize it, we're just moving the guys around. Iron Mine gives a bunch of metal, decent infrastructure. Sure, that looks like a reasonable track. Let's go ahead and grab the cold site, that way we can potentially upgrade it to the Vassalin Temple. Bunch of money here, but that's fine. We kind of still want a little bit of money income. It's around like 5k for the treasury, or armies up. Pottery's tempting here. We do have access to papyrus, so I'm going to do the Preceptor House instead. We're stable enough now that we can take those off. And we'll build the regional road. 1 open slot. Two good choices. I'm thinking of going the cult site here for the conversion to convert the Iranians. And we have enough description to finish that right away, so that's good. 2 open slots. You're a little bit more stable, so we can take some people off of multi-generation. Okay. Gambling Ring is the only one that's not finishing. We can get Anatolian Cavalry here. The medium cavalry. Don't know how well this compares to the mercenary cavalry we're using right now. It's probably cheaper. Yeah, we'd be saving 14 gold upkeep. Cheaper over the long run. Maybe a little bit more expensive initially because everyone you build is going to raise the cost, but it doesn't affect the upkeep. I think it just affects the initial higher cost. And then Year of the Glacial Infantry, those are tempting to get some of. This is not the provincial we're reverting here, it'd be, we just have a place to build elephants here. Very interesting. Not necessarily going to build any right now. Provincial here is light cavalry. We do probably want to invest in some light cavalry. We're not going to rush off to do that right now. More light cavalry. Okay. me make sure I've gone through all the provinces. No, we had that one to go through. Another Stoa would be tempting. This one's even pretty profitable from the local standpoint. We do have access to pottery. Okay, we're importing it from Persia, but that removed a malice. Instead of costing 15, it costs 5. Like that's big. And 5% global commerce. Nice. Improve the walls here. And we don't need to be growing a rebellious region. Yeah, so that's that. You're a loose one, because that province broke when the Romans broke it. I suppose we could build the siege workshop and try to delay. It's not going to be built quick enough, but if it was completed, it would delay the siege. Okay, so army will arrive here. Next turn, we'll push it out to here, probably. We'll see where we can get it to next turn. Decision-wise, anything useful? No, if we had a prospect resources, we definitely have a place we could clear bad province modifier from. This is cleared by prospect resources. Get 30% more infrastructure. Yeah, they're storming the fort. They're not going to wait for this fort to the fort to starve, because, you know, it isn't. And the garrison doesn't hold. Might have held better if I'd actually given it a general, but I didn't think that far ahead. Still in the progressing tier. Persia's in the declining tier with 3 aging tokens. One can only hope that Persia will fall apart. Okay, so that is our army. It will take 2 turns to go to either location. And I would want to relieve. So I'm kind of... Either way, I'm betting on assuming that the Romans don't take, I suppose. I have a better likelihood of that success being if I go to mine instead of the other one. We will potentially sacrifice our 2 defense guy to make sure the fort doesn't fall. You're training up. You'll be fully trained in about another turn. You can go join up with that guy. Okay. No revolts down here. You're about appropriately positioned to respond to them if one pops up. One open building slot here. We now have gold and copper in the area, so this is a 41 money maker. It's a pretty good, strong money maker. So that's tempting. I am going to pass on it because I want to pick up the amphitheater. Believe we also want to run the Corpothasis? Probably pronouncing that wrong. Which is the Greek alternative to, I believe, the statue maker. Which will provide us luxury. We do want that. We have enough commerce buildings that we can find that now, so we want that to be... Probably want to pick that up at some point. We've got a couple of amphitheaters going, so that's good. We really don't need to be growing here, especially because this is where all the slaves are coming, right? I don't need to be... We will go collect the new citizens to the core region instead of, you know, growing them there. Okay, we've got you here. We could go ahead and tear down some health buildings. We've got 65 health buildings, or 60 health. Max is actually 65, so we're not going to go do that right away. Could pull the Stoa. I think we can pull the Stoa. Yeah, Stoa's in that list. We actually weirdly don't have access to fish here, which is a little surprising. Tavern would bring in wine. Be loyalty. We don't really need that. I think we should go for the reroll here. 4 building slots there. Probably go for the plus loyalty. We are close enough now, I can probably stabilize. Yeah, just about stabilize the area. The underpacification is going to go away next turn, and then we won't need that much on culture regeneration to keep it stable, but some building slots here. Good to see. We'll improve the wall. We can build a node on here. Half a point of legacy, 26 culture. Good all around. Move more guys off of money making onto production so we get some more buildings done. That's as good as that region's going to be. This one's got nothing arguably to build, so we'll put some on to food production. And then everything that can be, we'll leave on money, so we can stockpile some money. Cappadocia doesn't need you on loyalty generation anymore. Rebuild slots. We'll go Ration Tribune. I think I can get just enough here, yeah. To stabilize you. Kamanana. There's not work. We build monument there. 4 slots there. It's gonna be a couple turns again before the underpacification goes away in one of these places. 1 more turn. Okay, so in a lot of places we're about to get 20 more loyalty, which will help. Public Works. Build slots here. Grab a tavern. That's not a bad tavern, to be fair. Three build slots. Not gonna help immediately, but help in the long run, which is the cult site here by converting them slowly. And then loose, no loose. Got the... Okay. I'll take the risk. We'll go ahead and assign that movement. And I'm going to go ahead and drop a forced march here. We'll see if that gets our guys there before the fort falls. That's all the decisions we're going to do. Yeah. Troops are building up. We'll have a second army to go in after this one goes in. And honestly, I might be rich enough I could be contemplating a potential third. As the new territories come more and more online. So the forced march was successful. It got the Spartan army there in time to relieve the siege. Sparta versus Rome. Ranged phase. Then 9v5. But then look at those minimum rolls. We have a minimum roll of 6. They have a minimum roll of 2. Don't think that's gonna go well for them. Didn't. A minimum roll 7. They have 6. This is actually a pretty good guy on their side. Still probably not gonna go very well for them because they only got a base of 4. Yeah. And the cav does its job, which is not dying on the flanks. Sparta won the battle. Fort has been relieved. Fort siege has been denied. We dropped 6 tiers, but we'll work on that. We're working on that. Where is Persia? Persia, get out of the hole. I think that was a no. Nope, Persia's still in the hole. Still 3 aiding tokens. They haven't picked up an extra one yet. If they pick up 2 more, they will break even more. Buy, sell, or displace? We're displacing. Okay, so you go there, pick up an army general. Wilderness expert, so +1 movement in forest, rough, and mountain. Yeah, that's actually almost a perfect general for us, I think. We'll go over there. And yeah, let's go relieve the siege of our subject. If we get there in time, we will relieve their siege. Got recruit local units, which we probably won't use. We lost some medals to the Persians, because of course we did. Got 4 progress tokens. Religious trouble. Okay, some new building slots. So we now have the die. What specifically needs die? Oh, only one building needs it. Lots of buildings benefit from it. Market, clothing manufacturer, ceramics, commercial port, and trade. So it's going to be a little hard to move it around. We'll have to make it places. Although it needs purple, which we actually have. So what this has done is it's moved Iburia purple over here. It says it's cost 5. Let's close this for the moment. It's in my way. So we're importing the purple from somewhere. Iburia, which is ours, yeah. So we've got a value of 9. We're paying half price for it. And the place we're getting it from is presumably saving full price from it. Let's bring over the trade goods so I can see. So it's coming from here. So we pop over here. Purple. We're getting 15 for it. And we're getting 15 for it because we have 62% commerce. That's the Stoas adding up there. It's not going to give us a breakdown of where that's coming from, but that's what the Stoas are doing. This is our papyrus place, which you can see is getting us 87 money for 9 trades. Again, that's the magic of the Stoa kicking in there and giving us a really large commerce building and a bonus in a place that really arguably doesn't have very much commerce bonus. Otherwise, this isn't providing any. We got a 12% there. Like that's it. Oh, there's another 10%. 22% there is actually local. The rest is probably the Stoa stacking. Yeah, back to building here. So we're not building the Stoa. I could build the, or not building that because we built that last turn. Market. Could build the market. Would benefit from those dies. Would be 28 money. Would import the pottery which we've just made in Ionia. So we'd help move that pottery around. If I was more desperate for money, and actually I kind of am desperate for money. I want to move more stuff off of money and onto other stuff. That would be a good choice. The other one would be to fish for the hospital, I think. Hospital land expansion. Yeah, we got a couple places I want to get. I want to get land expansion. I want to get hospital. Both of those are 0 slots. We're fishing for 0 slots. I don't think there's any 0 slots in there. So we pulled the Naphtha Emporium, is what we pulled on that Emporium list. I can see it in the list there. Which is a bit of a meh. It's 1 in the 15. It's 1 of the 15 we really didn't want, but we pulled it. This place is unwalled, so this would also be a good place to put this in. I think we're going to reroll until we get 3 0 slots. The 0 slots will actually give us another build slot as well. One of them will, at least. This is one of the rare proposals you get if you have a sleeve market building. We're not going to build it, but it's an option. This is actually more tempting, like, really early on. We're not that early. That's why we're passing off on it. We're coastal, and this is a place where we're not really going to have a lot of culture conversion because it's our capital. Unless I start releasing the slaves. So we really want the Thassalon Temple. We want the other one. So we're going to pass on that one. Again, I'm going to pass on you. We'll probably put you out in Mesopotamia. If it rolls in Mesopotamia, we'll probably build it up there. Woodcutter. It's better sources of wood. Public baths. We don't need any more health here. We got 65 health, so this is a reroll. Which means we don't need so much on construction. We should go over to money. Oh, wait, no. The amphitheaters need the construction. Whoops. I'm getting ahead of myself. I forgot the, did have one building. Most of it's shuffle. Shuffle, you just need the province to have one net construction. The amphitheater has actually got a decent construction cost on it, so we need to keep some in the place. Olympic Games, 2 more turns. Might actually be interested in trying to pick up some food here. Would want something better than the shepherd's house. Well, is there anything better than the shepherd's house? No. No, there isn't. They're all going to be about 5 food. At least until we get to tier 2. Yeah. And we already have the wool and the cattle, so... we'll go ahead and take the training ground. Basically serve as a reroll. We might do some food on the next roll. Flax, again, same sort of thing. We don't have anything we can hit that's going to be better than flax. It's a little bit of a shame. Well, I suppose the oil mill, because it provides a little bit of health, is better, but not really. Not when we're already sitting at 60 health. It's not really that much better. And we are going to build the sewers here, which is going to be plus 5 health. That's going to get us to 65. then I'll probably start the process of disassembling the hospital. Which, to be fair, disassembling the hospital will save us money, because the hospital wants drugs. We don't have drugs, so it's costing us 18 money each hospital. That's why we're not keeping them. We're building them to build this, and then we're tearing them down. Like, that's what we're doing. We're importing tools from somewhere. I don't remember the names of my territories. Here. Importing tools from here. So the tools are going to be pretty big, I'd say. And then get there, and it's 24. See, the two buildings that needed is our cultural hospital and the Builders Guild. So everyone can need buildings around or need tools around, but they're a little bit harder to do if you don't have a lot of infrastructure buildings, a lot of health buildings. The Greeks basically have 2 options, everyone else has 1. You are probably a lot more stable, yeah. We'll still go the Oration Tribune here. A little aggressive for grabbing the Gladiator School. And we probably don't want to just grab it for funsies. Though need weapons in, which would generate some money for us. It would likely be coming from us. But no, I'm going to resist the urge to grab it. We don't need it. We don't need to need it. We'll do quarry instead. Okay, that's proceeding at speed. We got a couple more people to assign off of food. Construction, get construction going a little bit faster. It's not making a big difference, but... 4 fabricator, no, we're gonna pass on that. We'll take the smokehouse. And then we can take 6 food onto production. You're fine as is. Build slot there. We got 1 place that's a little rebellious, the rest is stable. Okay. Take the monument there. Then you are interesting. I don't think I can stabilize you by tossing everything on. No. So, the underpacification here got refreshed because of a bad unrest event. We'll see if things improve. 4 build places here. Line expansion is always tempting when you get it offered. And I'm not going to move more off of food onto production because it's going to finish the same amount of time anyway. Noble district for a little bit more loyalty. So temporarily we will toss a couple people in loyalty production. Then you similarly. Can we actually stabilize you? Barely. There we go. Okay, some of these places are going to take a little bit of work to stabilize, but we can probably do it. You're probably the best I'm going to get, interior-wise. Going to be interesting trying to get the gold and silver, but... And then Tigress here. Places that we want more loyalty. Large farm or tool manufacturer? Go large farm. I think that'll open up access to the mill, which is also plus 10 loyalty. And And we can also stabilize you at the cost of things building faster. That's fine. Now, you're the only unloyal one. And be stabilized. Yeah, if we put the slaves on, we might stabilize it. Yeah. Okay, this province is working inefficiently, but inefficiently is better than, you know, not working. And it's nice and stable. You're stable. You're stable. Okay, so we've stabilized down here. Our actual unstable ones are up here, apparently. You're the unstable one. Okay. So we'll start marching you back to the land of instability. And there's no idols. There we go. Anything in there we want to do? No. So let's cycle the turn and attempt to relieve the defenses of our subject. I guess the fort just defected to us as we came through. That's nice. They're attacking, we're defending. This is going to be a little bit reliant on the dice rolls, I suppose. Ranged phase. Because we don't really have enough flank. That's what's going on here. 8v4, minimum roll 7. Okay, so we're gonna wreck it in the center. We're gonna have struggle in the flanks. Sparta won the duel, but we did lose 2 of our flankers and 2 of our archers. We're leaving the fort. And we are a glorious empire, getting a golden age. And Persia is still in the declining tier, though they got up 6 points, so they potentially are going to get out of it. Okay, let's withdraw back to the hills where we fight a little bit better, until we can get our flankers and archers back. Okay, you can come across in a turn, so we'll just support the transport. And then replace that, we need 2 mercenary cavalry. In fact, arguably we probably want... Well, we're not going to wait for the light cavalry to arrive from the far east, so we'll take 4. That way we've got enough to cover both flanks in the plains. And 2 archers replace the lost archers. The perfumery produces perfume, produces a reasonable amount of money because we have access apparently here to drugs, herbs, and frankincense in this specific location. We don't have that everywhere. I'm actually surprised I have access to drugs and herbs, but we have access to frankincense, 37 money. Will provide us with perfumes, which will give us a little bit of ability to get some higher tier luxury buildings going without high expenses. So we'll build that. We do have access to gold, so it's not the end of the world to start setting up royal treasuries. Might not do that here. That's apparently a very valuable tavern. I'm gonna say we got everything except for the honey. Would import the wine. Loyalty bonus is a little bit to scoff at, but 28 money is enough, I think, to warrant it. Oh, interesting. I don't have enough military buildings here in the capital to actually get access to 2 military buildings. So with that in my thought process, let's go ahead and pick up the weapons depot. So we can access proper tier 3 military buildings in the capital. Olympic Games finishes next turn. We'll improve the dock here to Major Harbor. And of course, thanks to the admirable healthcare in the region of Ionia, we've suddenly got +1 population in a place that isn't growing at all. Healthcare. We have places to import papyrus from, so Preceptor House makes sense. We'll take the theater. Theater is a prerequisite for one of the buildings we need later, or we want to build later. Those look fine. Got an open building slot here. You have... Ayla is a little unstable. We could definitely stabilize you. Yeah. Landing expansion. I don't think you're making enough. Oh, we can move one. Have you cleared? No, you haven't cleared the fearsome beasts, which is why we don't have. Why we have to cut so many people on food to feed the province. That's what's going on there. Stability improved. Yes. Not in the place that's actually got a revolt risk, but the rest of it, yes. Grab courthouse. Noble district will definitely help. Can't get you stable. You can only get up to 31. Next turn, unless you roll an unrest. You'll get high enough that we could do that trick to get positive. We do have troops on the way. There's some there. Again, I feel a little weird going through the territory of the people we just defeated to get to places. So we'll do the long way around. Anyway, that's about right. We'll just knock lots of that territory for a turn. Noble district. Have you stabilized and I can take more off? We can take a little bit off. Same sort of thing here. Any little bit of stability improvements, not much. Oh, actually, slaves off. There we go. And then Tigress, we can take 5 off as well. Construction a little bit there. Then we're on to the loose. Any loose? Yes. You want gold, silver, copper for that to be really worthwhile doing, so no. Otherwise, yes, but no. Archer range. It's costing us money here because we actually be importing the wool from probably Macedonia, likely going on here. Still picking the archer range up. Any other looses? No. And the reason that way is we can get access to tier 2 buildings, or tier 2 military buildings. I think for decisions, yeah, there's nothing I really want to do. So let's cycle the turn, and we'll go ahead and end this part at the beginning of the next one. Troops successfully transited over to the Italian peninsula. and we still have an objective on Rome. Slave market is always distribute. Important health regulations. We can do sanitation works. 5% chance. It has one health building per population to receive a new one. Now that could mean in some places we'll go around and have to tear health buildings down because we'll have too many health buildings, but I think that's fine. Okay. Fleet's gonna do that move. Oh, did one of these not show up? Maybe you got your 8. Oh, I must have accidentally screwed up recruited an extra hoplite. It'll be fine. They're expensive, but sometimes it's good to invest in the expensive stuff. And another build harbor. Nice. We'll improve... Oh, the harbor's actually camped out. Okay. Improve that harbor? Sure. Okay, this is probably a good place to put a part break in. We're going to continue the war with Rome in the next one. It looks like, assuming no delays in the part tomorrow for YouTube, we should carry out our first... Well, we should basically retake our territory we just lost to the Romans. Take it back. And then we'll be on the offensive, pushing up the Italian peninsula. I doubt the Romans are willing to negotiate peace yet. No. Granted, that's because they have our stuff, right? So we'd have to be giving them things, is where we are. Once we take our stuff back and start taking some of their stuff, that's going to very rapidly swap around the other way, and then they'll really on board with white peace. Of course, we might not be wanting to give them white peace at that point, but that'll work itself out. So if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a part up tomorrow, because I'm going to record at least one more part today. If you're watching on Twitch, this is where this part's going to go ahead and end. Take a short break to stretch the legs and sip a little bit of tea, and then we'll be right back to recording the next part. So until the next part, wish you the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.